Hello, and thanks for inviting me to this festival. You couldn't have chosen a more important theme and a more relevant moment for this festival. This is clearly a difficult time for education, but it's also a time of extraordinary both technological and social innovation in education. This is the moment education for sustainable development has prepared us for. Globalization and technology have connected people, countries, continents in ways that vastly increase our individual and collective potential. But the same forces have also made the world more volatile, more complex, more uncertain. The world is seeing a growing disconnect between the infinite growth imperative and the very finite resources of our planet, between the financial economy and the real economy, between the wealthy and the poor, between the concept of our gross domestic product and the well-being of people, between technology and social needs, between governance and the voicelessness of people. I'm not saying that schools are responsible for all of that, but we should also not underestimate the impact of the values, the attitudes, the knowledge and the skills that our schools promote on the social, economic, cultural world around us. Technology and even a virus can disrupt our economic and social structures. But the implications are never predetermined. It's always the nature of our collective responses to those disruptions that determines their outcomes. The interplay between the technological frontier and the social and institutional agents that we mobilize in response. The Sustainable Development Goals provide an answer to this. They are the missing piece of the globalization puzzle, the glue that can counter the centrifugal forces of the age of accelerations. But again, it's going to be educators who hold the key to ensuring that the SDGs become a real contract with citizens. The one thing we all figured out is that schooling in these times is no longer just about teaching students something. It's more about helping them develop a reliable compass and the tools to navigate with confidence through this complex and volatile world. Success in schooling today is about building curiosity, opening minds. It's about compassion, opening hearts. And it's about courage, mobilizing our cognitive, social, emotional resources to take action. And those are also going to be our best weapon against the biggest threats of our times. Ignorance, the closed mind. Hate, the closed heart. And fear, the enemy of agency. We live in this world in which the kind of things that are easy to teach and easy to test have also become easy to digitize, to automate. We know how to educate second-class robots, people who are good at repeating what we tell them. Well, in the age of artificial intelligence, we need to think a lot harder about what makes us human. Of course, state-of-the-art knowledge is always going to remain important, no question about it. But the world no longer rewards us just for what we know. Now, Google knows everything. But for what we can and do with what we know. Science isn't just about physics and chemistry. It's about our capacity to think like a scientist. History isn't just about remembering dates and names. It's about being able to think like an historian. To understand how the narrative of a society has emerged, how it developed, how it advanced, and sometimes how it unravels when the context changes. And what does it mean for us? What can we do today with that to shape tomorrow's world? Schools are very good at breaking big problems down into smaller bits and pieces and then train students to solve those kinds of pieces. But today the world creates value by synthesizing different fields of knowledge, by making connections between ideas that previously seem unrelated. By connecting the dots where the next big idea, the next innovation is going to come from. And that always requires to be familiar with and also receptive to knowledge, ideas from other fields. To be able to think across the boundaries of different school subjects. In today's schools, students typically learn individually, and at the end of the school year, we give them a degree for their individual achievements. But the more interdependent the world becomes, the more we need great collaborators, great orchestrators, people who understand how other people think, how other people work, whether as scientists or as artists, and how other people live in different cultures, in different traditions. People who can live with themselves, who can live with others, and who can live with the planet. In the past, schools were technological islands with technology typically conserving existing practice rather than transforming practice. In the future, schools need to be a lot better to use the potential of technologies to liberate learning from past conventions and to connect learners in entirely new and more powerful ways. The past was divided, with teachers and content divided by subjects and students separated often by the expectations we as adults have of their future career prospects. With schools designed to keep students inside and the rest of the world outside. With a lack of engagement with families and often a reluctance of schools to partner with other schools. The future needs to be a lot more integrated. And integrated also with the needs of the planet. None of that is easy. Surely none of this will be done overnight. But it must be done, and it can be done. The task is not to make the impossible possible, but to make the possible attainable. Thank you very much.